Dr. Rupa Huq.
So, Christopher, we're now in the second year of coronavirus, and we've all experienced highs and lows throughout this. At the beginning, we were told that that this is a great leveler. The fact that Prince Charles and the PM had it, rather than the "we're all in it together" narrative, it's maybe more fair to say that we're all in the same storm but different boats. And nowhere have we seen that differential impact than the vaccine rollout in London. My own borough, Ealing, we all remember the pictures of the memorably named William Shakespeare having his jab early on in December, but it actually took a couple of weeks, a good 10 days, I believe, for the vaccine to reach the magnificent Gothic splendour of Ealing Town Hall. And sadly, the supply in London has lagged behind other parts of the country. It's been a magnificent effort. We've all seen, brilliant statistics that a third of the population have been done. But I think, again, there is room for improvement here. For a long time, we remember when we passed, of the highs and lows, the 50,000 fatalities figure came just before the miracle of the vaccine at Christmas that's given everyone hope. But that maxim of differential impact, I think, is one we have to look at. And there are two things that will take us to the other side of this. It's vaccine uptake amongst the population and hesitancy people talk about, and also supply. So London has nudging 10 million people, some 12% of the population. My own borough, 360,000 people. And we had initially the town hall, then a second venue in the west of the borough in Southall followed. Last week, both of those were closed. The latter, I think, did a record 1,200 before shutting its doors until further notice. And, there's been a magnificent effort. The volunteers, the NHS staff, everyone was poised. I've heard nothing but praise about the efficient operation, but then they were all stood down. And those old divides of inner city and leafy suburb, my seat actually has both. Ealing, known as Queen of the Suburbs, but it's in Acton, a place where there are wards of deprivation, that there's been no vaccination centre. It's a bit of a vaccination black spot, and I'm hoping the minister can help me address those. It's a place that's big enough to have a tube or rail station with every compass point on several different lines, Central District, Piccadilly, but no vaccination centre. And, this Acton-shaped hole, as I say, given the characteristics of the population, makes this even more urgent. And London, our nation's capital as a whole, it does seem sometimes, this over-promising, the moonshot rhetoric that we've had. It's not that long ago we were promised 24-hour vaccination in the capital. I think in January that was being said. The experience of our centres last week was far from that. Now we're waiting for the second doses. Hopefully there will be a big surge. But it does concern me, Sir Christopher, that there seems to be a bit of an anti-London rhetoric from this government at times, which, stretches to the fact that we have a towns fund with new bungs, bringing in prosperity and opportunity, but not in London. That's been completely excluded in favour of places like these red wall locations. So I would caution them to, not let that apply to vaccination supply. London is not immune from deprivation, poor housing, overcrowding. I have it in my wards in Acton. Localised need should drive allocation, not centralised supply